You are better at chess than Stockfish, and the reason is you can't give a correct evaluation to a position that the Stockfish gets completely wrong. That's because the answers in chess are not always given in terms of moves. I'm gonna show you a position and I'm gonna ask you to tell which side has more winning chances and what's the strategy to win or draw the game. Alright, here it is. It's white to move, you can give it a try if you want before I give you the answer in a few moments. Okay, if you did manage to solve it, congrats, you just beat Stockfish. If you are an advanced player, you may have noticed that the puzzle was quite easy. And that's because it was designed to be easy for humans to solve, but impossible for chess engines. The answer is that there are no winning chances for any side, with reasonable play of course. The game is a complete draw. It's true that black has an overwhelming material advantage. They have a queen, 2 rooks, and 3 bishops, while white has 1 passed pawn. But the problem is that all that material advantage is caged up at the side of the board, and the 3 bishops are all in the dark squares. So the strategy for white is just to move the king around on the white squares until 50 moves happen. Black cannot force anything. What's interesting is that Stockfish gets this all wrong. If you go ahead and give this position to the engine, the evaluation should be an absolute 0, but instead you get this -10 or something. Black is winning according to Stockfish. Why is this happening? Why can Stockfish beat grandmasters consistently but fails to evaluate correctly a position that even some average players can solve quickly on their own? To see this, we have to check again the answer to the puzzle. Black has an immense material advantage, but is all restricted and they cannot force anything on the light squares. The game is a draw. Notice that we didn't come up with any particular sequence of moves. It doesn't matter the specific path of the white's king. We just gave a reasoning. And Stockfish doesn't know about the reasonings. It can only give answers in terms of moves. So the engine is using all its computational power to move those useless bishops around, trying to find the right combination that optimizes that minimax objective and alpha beta prune in the game tree, and we know it's all just the same. Of course there is an answer in terms of a sequence of moves, but justifying it will require to exhaust every sequence of 50 moves to say, after examining each, that neither player can force a win. And 50 moves is a lot in chess. Let's try to estimate the number of lines we'd have to rule out. The king has 4 legal moves in the initial position. The bishops have 19 legal moves, but let's pick an easy scenario for Stockfish. Let's say that each player has only 2 possible moves at their turn. White will pick any of those 2 moves, and for each one black can pick any of 2 moves, and so on. So the tree of possibilities grows very fast, exponentially, and for the 50 moves rule it would be 50 turns from white and 50 for black. So the game tree has 2 to the power of 100 branches, which is bigger than the number of bytes of information humanity has generated so far. It's not possible to walk through every single branch in a lifetime. Therefore, Stockfish just cannot give an answer in a reasonable amount of time. There are actually many examples of puzzles like this one, that trick engines in one or another way, but that can be solved with just a few minutes of thinking from anyone who will give it a try. There are some others that are difficult for humans and engines as well, like this one over here. It's quite to play. Black has 2 more pawns, white has 2 forcing moves, namely the checks with the pawn, and that's pretty much it. Stockfish can actually solve it when given enough computational resources, but the free versions you find in Lichess or chess.com can't do it. And humans also take a good amount of time to solve it. It's not easy at all, but you can give it a try. Here, white actually wins and it's a mate in 12. The engines struggle finding the very first move, probably because of the way they are optimized to rule out all the bad moves. And the first move indeed looks like a bad one. Here I present to you the answer. The first move is bishop c7. Any other move leads to a draw or white losing their advantage. The moment you hint bishop c7 to a regular version of Stockfish, it can do the rest. After black takes the queen, we now go g takes f7 check. King f8 allows mate with the bishop, so king h8 is played. Now white sets up a devastating discovery with bishop e5. Notice that if white king moves anywhere, it's forced mate. Black has to target the bishop while keeping an eye on f8, the other mate trait. So queen c5 is played, to which the only good move from white is bishop b2. It's a waiting move because the queen is attached to c5, since she must guard f8 and restrict the white king. From here, black has effectively lost the value of the queen, since it won't move from c5 ever. King e6 is mate, so black immobilizes white's king using the knight. Just like the queen, this knight is now frozen in place and any knight move will lead to mate. White plays bishop a1, once again a waiting move, and the only option for black is to move the a5 pawn. From here, it's just a matter of time before black runs out of pawn moves, and they are forced to move the other pieces. After knight d5 check, the king goes to e6 with check. Black can block with the knight, and after bishop takes and queen takes, the pawn mates in f8. It's quite a surprising combination that you don't see often. The first puzzle was proposed by the legendary Roger Penrose, and it shows that we are still very far away from a true perfect chess playing machine. I hope you found this interesting. Maybe you have a conception of these chess engines as perfect machines, absolutely unbeatable, but maybe now you see them more as tools that yet have a lot to improve. Nevertheless, they still win against humans almost every time, so maybe that's why we think they can't get better. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.